Hi, Bobcats. As you're working through this fourth and final video of our welcome module, I hope that I'll be able to help you create a plan for success for this course. The biggest challenge by far that students face, according to the feedback they've given me with these online classes, is just keeping up with the class. So we need a plan. We need a some sort of an action plan that you can commit to so that you will be successful in this course. Our objectives for this segment are to continue figuring out how this course works, to distinguish our primary and additional sources of instruction, to distinguish formative and summative assessment, and to create a study plan for success. I really want you to go with the flow of our modules. I anticipate that when you look at one of our content modules, such as this one from Chapter 1, that you will be working your way through the module from top to bottom. So you will start with this very first page that says Chapter 1, Objectives and PowerPoint. So this is where you will see a list of all of the objectives for the entire Chapter 1 in one spot. And keep in mind that when I write tests using that list of objectives as a blueprint for the test. Also, in this first page will be a link to the PowerPoint slides. So when you start watching the videos, you can use those PowerPoint slides to frame your notes. Okay. Then the next page in this particular case is the Chapter 1 course overview, and then the next item that this page that says Chapter 1 course overview, there will be a couple of videos there along with a few words introducing the videos. After you've worked your way through those videos, then the next item is this Chapter 1 participation one. So this will be that first participation problem set. Remember, you get 3 chances at it. So do your first attempt, and if you miss stuff, go back one page to the Chapter 1 course overview and look for whatever that information is, and then cycle back and do your second attempt at the Chapter 1 participation. If you still miss something, get more help. Talk to me in office hours, ask me in a synchronous class meeting, send me an email. All right, then the next item is the link to the homework. I put the homework real early here. I don't anticipate at this point that you'll be able to do more than 1 or 2 problems on the homework, right? Because it's right here at the very beginning of the chapter. But the idea is I want you to go take a look at the homework so that you'll have an end in mind. If you glance through the homework problems, you'll be like, oh, okay, this is what I'll be expected to do throughout this chapter. Then the next page, Chapter 1, the nature of science. At this point, there will be several more videos, and as soon as you've finished watching those videos and taking notes and working problems along with me while you're watching the videos, you'll go to participation 2. And again, after your first attempt, cycle back and get any information that you missed, and then try taking your second attempt. If the second attempt is not a 100, one more time, get some outside help. And then we keep repeating this process. You'll go to foundation in chemistry, you'll do another participation problem set. Again, that might be cyclical. Then you'll move on to measurements and unit conversions. There'll be another participation set. And then we've finished up the chapter and you're going to do the chapter quiz. Now the chapter quiz is a little bit different in that you only have 2 attempts at it. So after you do the first attempt, if you're like, oh man, I know exactly where that was in that video, I'm going to go back and look at my notes and see just what that was supposed to be. Great. If you can get it all cleared up like that, great. Do it. Take the quiz the second time. But if you're not sure, reach out to me, ask for help before you do it that second time. The whole goal here is to get you to interact with the material as many times as needed so that you end up with really good grades. So earlier, I promised you we would take a look at summative and formative assessment. Most of the things that we do in this class are going to fall in the category of formative assessment. And formative assessment can be thought of as practice. These are all of the things that you do to interact with the material to learn it. Then summative assessment can be thought of as game time. This is when you take all of this stuff that you learned and it is your moment to shine. It is your moment to stand up and say, hey, look at all of this cool stuff I learned. Look at all of this knowledge and all of these skills that I've developed. So back over in the formative category. Formative assessment are all of these opportunities to learn. It's through practicing. Another way of thinking of formative assessment is that these are checks along the way for your level of understanding. Did you really get what you were supposed to get out of that video? Or did maybe you get distracted by, right now I'm getting distracted by these 2 new kittens that I recently adopted, right? So did the kittens grab my attention, or was I really paying attention when I was going through this material? Formative assessment tends to be low stakes, right? This is why you get multiple attempts, right? The participation problem sets you can do 3 times, you get your highest score. The quizzes, you get to do 2 times and we keep your highest score. The homework problems, you can attempt an unlimited number of times. And once you get it right, you get full credit for it. So these are low stakes. All of the things in this last bullet point are the types of formative assessment that we have available in this class. So all of these things are really opportunities to interact with the material, to practice it, and to learn the material. Summative assessment, on the other hand, this is going to be the high stakes material, right? This is the opportunity to really show what you have learned. And in this class, the formative assessment will be the exams, right? So we have midterms 1, 2, and 3, and then there's also a final exam. Those are going to be our summative assessments. So I strongly encourage you to fully take advantage of all of the formative assessment in this class. You know, the first time you attempt one of these formative assessments, you may not get it right, and that's okay. It's low stakes, and you're not going to be penalized for it, right? The homework, if you get the wrong answer, you get to do it again for full credit once you finally get that right answer. These formative assessments are trying to keep you on track, right? You should be doing these early and often. You shouldn't wait on the homework till the day that it's due. You should be doing a few problems every day. You should be doing these problems as you're watching the associated videos. These are all things to help you interact with the material and learn the material, and you're probably not going to get them right the first time. So it's really important that you allow yourself to make those mistakes and then to learn from those mistakes and correct your assessments. Now, cheating on formative assessments doesn't make any sense whatsoever to me, because when you cheat on formative assessments, you are cheating yourself of the opportunity to learn the material, and you can't get that back. That learning is hard work. Learning takes practice. So that's what those formative assessments are all about. It's doing that work, doing all of that practice so that you actually learn the material. So things that students have done to cheat on these in the past, of course, there's Chegg and other sites similar to Chegg, copying from other students, or even hiring someone to complete the assessment for you. That one floored me. And yeah, I learned about it, and yeah, that went to the Honor Code Council. Yeah, it's stupid to do all of that. And here's what happens when you cheat on the formative assessments. You get to the summative assessments, right? And we said for this class, summative assessments are all titled exams. The student who is cheating on all of these formative assessments will have great scores on all the formative assessments, and then they'll get to the exams and they'll have terrible scores because they didn't learn any of the material. And it's much harder to cheat on the summative assessments, right? They're proctored. When there's this huge contrast between formative assessments and summative assessments, that tells me that you're not really doing the formative assessments correctly. The correct way to do the formative assessments is to be able to work each and every item on the formative assessments, start to finish, all on your own, without prompts from a tutor, without peeking at the solution from Chegg. If you can work each and every one of the items on these formative assessments all by yourself, you are in great shape for all of our summative assessments, for all of our exams.